Hey everyone, today we have Tanya Stewart. She is amazing. She is the Alpha Women's Coach. She is a badass attorney who ran a practice involving a lot of high conflict resolution stuff and was known as the happy divorce lawyer, if you can even imagine such a thing, because there needs to be good vibes going on in that process. So wait till you meet her. We're going to talk about women's empowerment, what it means to be an alpha female, which both of us are. And even if you're not out there listening, there are some things you might want to adopt and things we also can learn from you. So we'll talk about those different polarizations. But welcome to the show. Hey, how are you? Or the summit, the Women's Empowerment Summit.
Thank you so much for having me, Elle. I'm really excited. You're right in my wheelhouse right now, helping women to feel better about themselves, helping women to learn to use their power in better balance with their lives so they get better results. That's my stuff.
Yeah, so let's talk about your history because, first of all, wonderful rising to the top and becoming an attorney, having the power of attorney. So much in this world do we need attorneys for. What a great skill to have, just to be empowered as a person, whether you're buying a house, looking at contracts. I mean, what a valuable, I applied to law school a couple of times. We chatted about that. What an incredible degree. So you created your own law firm, and then give us the trajectory of, what led you into where you are now.
Okay. And this is going to be really important for any woman out there who has created a life that appears to be outwardly very successful, but inside you are not feeling fulfilled. You're not feeling happy. You are feeling like a bit of an imposter, any of that going on. You want to listen carefully to these next minutes we've got. So I was living my life. I look around, I have a $550,000 house. I've got a husband. I've got a law firm. I'm making multiple six figures, and it would look like everything is great. Yeah, like there's the shoe. You hear the shoe, like I need a big shoe. Bam, I need the shoe to drop. There's that moment when you wake up and you realize, why am I like heavy? And why am I unhappy? And when was the last time that I actually had a good time in bed? And why do I not like my husband? And why do I hate my family? And what is going on? It's like Chicken Little. The sky is falling, and on the outside, everything looks fabulous.
Great on paper. You were great on paper.
Oh my God, look good on paper, And so you look at this stuff, it's like, what did I do all day? For a living, I did high conflict divorce litigation. So I took lives and businesses apart. All day long, I was dealing with employees that were burning out, lawyers that were burned out, judges that were done. Everybody came in the door and everything was a class 2 emergency. Children were missing. People were attacked and raped and money destroyed. Everything in my life had an icky, nasty coating to it. And it's just like when you taste something bad and you're like, blah, 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 blah. And I woke up and I realized I don't want to do this anymore. Like, there has to be.
How could it not have seeped into your soul? And I wonder about that. When my father died and we had to go through dealing with the estate stuff, and I thought to myself, wow, to be a family planning attorney or a divorce attorney, the fights that go on, the battling, the things that happen over money in both arenas, but just the emotional high stakes of what's happening, because you're either talking about a death or like a parting of ways. And I can just see that seeping in, how could it not, right?
The funny thing is that as a woman, we're a little different on this one because we're watching men, and for men, it doesn't appear to seep in. It appears to do a little bit of, rain off the duck's back. But for us, it is in there. So it becomes heavier and heavier. It was becoming harder and harder for me to show up and do my work. It was so critical that I had paralegals that would keep clients from talking to me, because some of them, I would just fire them if I talked to them. I'm like, if I talk to them today, I will fire 3 people. Like I can't. Right. So it was in me, and I was getting heavier and sadder. And I want people to understand, when you start feeling these emotions, when you start gaining the weight, that is you out picturing your unhappiness. Your life is now starting to reflect the true state of affairs in you. So I made so much money, but it didn't seem like I could keep it well. You know what I mean? I was very rich, but I wasn't wealthy. And I was like, what is the matter with this situation? And I had to tell the truth. That's why I have 3 pillars in my coaching, and they're massive truth, massive action, massive transformation. And I'll tell you what alphas are in a little bit, but basically you're always going to want to start with truth. When I told the truth, I was like, my marriage is not working and it's not going to work. What I'm doing for my health is not working. what I'm doing for my job is not working. And I have a degree and I have a name and I have all this stuff. And your head tells you, you can't stop. You can't put it down. You can't drop this potato. But it was killing me.
It's the golden handcuffs, isn't it?
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So I started over. I pushed a reset button on my whole life. It's kind of a funny little story that, the day that I told my husband, like, okay, we're getting a divorce, I then went downstairs in my building and fired my law firm. And I told him, I said, I just fired my husband. So pretty much, I'm like, I'm
Everyone's fired.
Everybody's out. I'm like, we're starting this bastard over. We're hitting the eject button because my life's not working and it's my responsibility. There was nobody else to look around and blame it on. It's like, it's not working because I'm a woman or because I'm Black or because I live in Georgia or because of any of these other things. It wasn't working because of the decisions that I was making, the truths that I wasn't seeing. And I want you guys to hear this. I was disempowering myself. I was not looking at the truth. And that is your root cause of all disempowerment. Everybody is talking about, if you're looking for somebody to empower you, you have already effed it.
Oh, 100%. And I love the fact that we're talking about this, because disempowering oneself by staying in things that aren't right and going against your gut, which is what you're talking about here. It's going against that gut.
Yes, you can't. And here's the trick. We are actually conditioned to go against our gut. We're conditioned. If you imagine like your gut has like a little dial on it, and it has like healthy, safe, little concerned, yellow flag, hell no. We're conditioned to like put a cloth over it, turn the volume down, cut the speakers. We're conditioned like that because the world wants us to show up the way it wants us to show up so it can continue to get whatever value it's taking from us. So you have to actually reconnect the wiring on your own little analysis, on your own intuition, so you can say, God, I know this should be working, but I don't like it. It's like, it's like in a romantic relationship. There are men that your friends will introduce you to that you should like, but you just don't. Like, you just don't like them. And you don't question that. Like, you don't go, gosh, wait, he's 6'2" and he's this height and he's got this BMI and he's making this income, so screw it, I'm sleeping with him. Unless you're a crazy person, you don't do that.
Yeah, you don't force yourself against your gut in those scenarios. Why do it in the others? And
right. Why do that in life? Why do that with your children? There are times when you know that even if your children have messed up, you should just hug them. And there are times when you know that you should rain the fire of death on them, even if they're crying. And you should, if you run out of things to throw, you should go next door and say, may I borrow some objects? I'm out. I have to throw some more things at this person. So, we have to follow that intuition, and you can't hear that inner voice when you're not aligned with truth, because the energy of your intuition is completely truth-based. That's the power of being in truth. When you want empowerment, you want truth. When you need intuition, you need truth.
So you just have to get real with yourself and have some come to Jesus moments.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to go, where am I not happy? And the moment you start to go, well, yeah, but, no, because then you now are analyzing the situation and your gut is saying that the situation sucks, and now you're going to try to talk your way into staying into it, whatever it is.
Now, let me tell you how alpha women are really uniquely good at this. An alpha woman is basically a woman who is born, and by the way, alphas are like begotten, not made. We are born of alphas. So usually, you're an alpha, look at your mom, okay? Usually your mom's an alpha. She can conquer the world. She has been the single mom. She raised everybody. She had $4 and she fed 3 children and kept everybody together. And as a girl, alpha women tend to create more alpha girls. You're the woman that everybody calls when it's impossible, when it can't be done, when they can't find a way, when shit won't move. We make things move. We make things happen. I'm getting goosebumps because this is my energy, right? This is honorable warrior archetypal energy. It is fundamentally masculine. And this is where our problems with empowerment come, because we put ourselves in this masculine role and we become these excellent hammers. And to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So we use our hammer tool on relationships. We use it on our business. We use it on our children. We use it on our health. We use it on everything, and it only works to a certain level. And then
we have to dive into that feminine. We have to get and be polarized. You have to have both. And, you know, people that are speaking right now, like, yeah, these two are alpha. Totally. My mom was super alpha. And, but my mom was a gotten made alpha, self-made alpha almost. But yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah. Keep going. Love this conversation.
it's so important because there's a couple fundamental things about alphas that are axiomatic. They're strong starters and poor finishers. We have trust issues. Mostly because genuinely people have effed it in your life. People have not shown up for you. Nobody has your back. You're the person where you're holding up the wall and holding back the thing. If you start to cry, there is nobody. Because everybody around you is like, well, if Tanya's crying, clearly Satan has arrived. The end is nigh. We're doomed. She's falling apart. There's nothing I can do. I better get away while the getting's good. So they're very isolated. You're very alone. So the problem is you cause this cycle whereby you don't expect help, so you repel help. And then you don't ask for help, so you don't get help. And then you complain that you're alone and there's no help in the world.
Totally. I would like to say that I have been the victim of such thinking myself. And there came a point in life where I was like, I have to ask for help. I was almost like the universe forced me to. And it's tough because alphas are often the ones that are giving, helping, and, very good at type A leadership and just getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard sometimes for alphas to delegate or receive. Yeah.
Or you said it, that one little bar, you guys sitting at your kitchen table, what she just said was actually one of the most important things. Alpha women have issues receiving. They have issues receiving love, help, support, information, feedback, anything. We're just not good receivers. Now, here's the problem with this. When they come to me, they say, oh, I want my soulmate. I want juicy sex. I want money. I want travel and freedom. And I'm like, great. You have to receive those things. They have to come in through somewhere. And if this is the hole that you're used to receiving through, we're in trouble here because you can't get an abundant flow in. So I tell people, if you're not used to giving it out, there's no way, there's no receptacle, there's no path for it to come back to you. This is biblical if you like the biblical. It is giving that you receive. It's a loop and it's a cycle, reaping and sowing, however you want to line that puppy up. The universe is wired this way. And when you want to feel empowered, this is why they tell you, go out and give first, okay? Because you're opening up the cycle. But you've got to be able to receive what comes back. And here's the trick, everybody. When you receive, you're out of control. It's one of the reasons we don't like it. Giving is about control. Receiving is about surrender. It is the feminine. That's why we're not good at it. Because we're very good at the masculine. We're less good at the feminine. So when it's time for you to get your money, when it's time for somebody to give you a compliment, when it's time for your mate to show up and to tell you you're amazing, you're not used to receiving it. You brush it off. You question it. You sequester it. You put it for later.
Yeah. I used to deflect a lot, and I used to not be able to receive compliments and things like that. And I deflect them, and I had to learn that that's just a part of the wheel you want to be on. So, and also it's a little bit of an F you to the person giving you a compliment, isn't it?
You just said it. Oh, I teach people this. Here's the trick. Like, if you like me, and by the way, I want you guys to all know, I've fallen in love with Elle. She's
oh my God, we should have slumber parties because we had a 5-hour conversation.
Like my girl crush, right? So it's like, I like her so much, I want to give to her. If she says no and shuts me down, she's just screwed me. Because the only way that I can receive is if I'm giving. That's my cycle. So if I go to give to her and she blocks it, she's just taken scissors and cut up my cycle. So when you don't receive from people around you, when you don't let people help you or show up for you, you actually mess them up. So spiritually, you mess up yourself and you mess up the person who's trying to give to you. It's super important when you're talking about empowerment. You're talking about a good, even flow of energy. I am empowered when I can choose who I'm giving to and I can receive all of the good that's flowing to me. That's empowerment. That's me knowing that I can give this way and receive this way. I can help her with no question of why. I can help some people I'll coach, and I didn't charge them. I just bump into somebody at the grocery store and I talk to them for 2 hours because my heart calls me to do that. And that's what I feel good about. And I'm not worried about her because the flow comes back to me from somewhere else. That's what you can get when you're open and when you're receiving, when you're able to be in that feminine, think of a receptacle on a wall, male plugs come and plug into you. That's what you're looking for. So I just, and by the way, you're gorgeous. Like, look at her hair. Like, as anybody can see, like, look at her hair. She's got the big, like, the eyes going on. Like, I'm like, oh, check her out. Like, gosh.
Yeah, it's eye candy over on my end to yours too.
Aw,
Yeah,
see, so we're cute. We're cute.
Totally cute. We'll do a little braggart moment there and be like, we're cute.
Women watching this, if you haven't had a moment in the last week, I'm talking 7 calendar days, where you have looked in a mirror and been like, damn, I look good.
Yeah.
You got to stop. Like, you can't be asking the world to empower you and you're not giving yourself the props, the credit, the power, the love, the energy, the attention, because you're asking the external to do what you won't do internally, which is against every spiritual law there ever was, no matter what book you check in.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to get into this topic, which is I got a little bit of a pet peeve on this one with, take a drinker break there.
That looked like a whiskey. Like, you notice how I've got like a nice.
It looks like scotch on the rocks, but it's iced tea.
Like she's got scotch. I'm drinking tea, people.
This is tea. This is iced tea. Scotch, gross.
Right.
So the topic here is so I was raised by a woman who uplifts other women. I feel that empowered women and alphas, it's really important that we help other women. Mm-hmm. A lot of women have mom issues, and so they need to be mothered and mentored by other women who either haven't or who understand how to do that. Right. So that's why I believe, a lot of women who are looking to be stronger sometimes are kind of people, we attract those people, and part of my life has been noticing that for one reason or the other, a lot of people are drawn to me because they have a need to speak up in life. And I've always been someone who spoke, and because I'm alpha. So it's like, I see that they're seeking out that quality. On the other hand, I will admit, many years ago, I learned my lesson from them. So even though they couldn't speak up or needed to, and were afraid of confrontation or had issues there, they taught me about diplomacy.
Right.
I mean, I was already diplomatic. I'm not saying I was an asshole, but, I'm just saying that a lot of them, because they were afraid to speak up, often took their time and chilled before they spoke, or maybe didn't speak at all, but there's power in that too. So it was a nice symbiotic thing, but I've seen a theme there. And so, alphas that are out there, it's important, I think, to help uplift and take under your wing women that you notice might be having issues with putting their foot down, staking their claim, declaring, whatever it is. You can be helping someone negotiate how to go get a raise at work, whatever. But I feel like we need to extend that because there's women out there who need it, and I've just seen it around me, and it's beautiful when you see someone finally stand up for themselves or finally just declare a salary during an interview with no issues about it whatsoever, and walking out of there going, yeah, because they realized they were worth that.
You're worth it.
But they didn't feel that way 2 months ago. So I love you to jump into this whole
Oh my gosh, this is fun. So, and you said something so brilliant. It was super subtle. So, woman at your kitchen table, I'm going to point out something that Elle said is super important that you hear. As an alpha, we are wired for rescuing. It's actually one of our favorite things. We rescue everybody. Kittens, dogs, men, businesses, people, dandelions, just if it can come across my path, I'm like, oh, I can help it. I can fix it. And it's, by the way, it's one of the reasons we don't progress, because we keep going off of our path to rescue. But so what she's talking about in uplifting women, I want you to do this, but I'm going to add the one tiny thing she said very quietly, which is, I want you to look to that person to see what you can learn back from them. What you're going to be looking for in this connection is feminine energy. You're going to be looking for positive modeling of feminine energy. There are weak models. Like I, as an alpha, many alphas, if you ask in closed quarters, we're like, women, they're just weak. They're weak and soft and squishy. I thought feminine was weak and soft and squishy and contemptible and icky. I did. That's what I thought. I was like, why would I didn't have a lot of female friends. I was like, yeah, hooker's gonna stab me in the back. Don't like me because I'm pretty and smart. Screw them all. Arr. I have learned that the feminine is fierce and powerful. We're talking mother grizzly bear energy, okay? We're talking some primordial shit that a feminine woman fully aligned can command. This is some awe-inspiring, world-creating power. So when you're helping these women, when you find a woman who doesn't have her voice, for instance, work with her. Make sure you let her know that you're looking for help in receiving, because she's going to be a better listener than you. Alphas tend to be a little weak on our listening skills. So I want you to communicate that to her for this important reason. Many women around alphas tend to be around us like a satellite. They see us as this hero up here, and they know that they can get help from us. Sometimes they're afraid to approach you, but also they feel less than. They constantly feel beholden and less than. If you actually tell them, hey, you know what, I really will help you with your thing, and look at some quality that she has that you could do better on, and ask her for a tip. Ask her, because that's, look how neatly this winds up. That's the giving and the receiving, okay? That's the flow. That's the, I'm giving you this empowerment from this tool that I'm really good at. I'm giving you a piece of my hammer, okay? And you're giving me a piece of this velvet skirt. And I need some more velvet skirts in my life. I need some more flowers in my life. I need some more, I can pause and maybe not jump in at the very first opportunity to have my opinion be heard.
Yeah.
So it's huge what you said, Elle. That was really huge.
I want to talk about just the actual word alpha, because just want to say out there, alphas aren't bitches. If you meet a bitch, she's not an alpha. Okay. And I'm not talking about strong. I'm not talking about that good connotation of the word bitch. I'm talking about someone who's a shitty chick. Okay. That's not a true alpha, because true alphas have inner confidence and they don't compete with other women. And let's get into that. Ladies, never do it. You are going down the wrong road. You will lose every time. You're going to only propel that person to success. Jealousy always backfires. I cannot express this enough in life. You have to find a way to love who you are, because it's the only way. When you are innerly confident, you are so happy for everyone. There is no competition. You're only competing to win and be the best, not because, haha, Mary, I'm going to kick her ass. That's not how you win. And so this concept of, first of all, I never compete, and I'm in a lot of competitions. I also win a lot because I don't compete against other people. I'm just competing to win. See what I mean? It's a different vibe. And I wish, and again, look, I understand that the way people and certain people are raised, but this is where you need to go to alphas to gain this, because the ones that have the true inner confidence, that's the foundation for everything and the way that you behave in life. So if you're in contentious bullshit with other women, no, I do not have female friends like that. I will never have a woman friend like that. The worst thing in the world is having a female friend, or any friend, but usually this comes with chicks, that you know isn't for you. Yeah. That is somehow trying to like, and I'll give you a great one. You know, like, this is so long ago. Okay, you see me. Yeah. I had a friend long time ago who one day was like, I think you would really look cute if you cut all your hair off and it was like a short pixie cut.
Wow.
Now,
excellent.
Right. Now, here's the thing. It was like, in that moment, I was like, I'll never talk to this bitch ever again in my life. Right? No one would ever suggest that to me. She was an insecure, coming from a place of jealousy, whatever it was. But right then and there, I was like, nope, because that's something deep that cannot be fixed quickly, and I'm out. Not wasting my time with those women. So let's not waste our time with those kind of women, or correct those kind of situations you have with women, and stop competing with other women. You help other women. I help people who want to do what I do all the time. I don't care. Join the club. You want to do a podcast? You think I'm going to be jealous? No, I will tell you how. I'll teach you how to become a writer, because I don't compete with anybody. That's why I'm able to be helpful. That's why I love helping people and cheerleading them.
Now let me help the people listening, because they're like, Elle is from an alien universe where they're all really tiny and have gorgeous, like, you know, that pretty woman hair, but in blonde, naturally. It's crazy. No, no, no. Here's what she's talking about. She is, I'm just telling you, she is. We're at the further end of the spectrum, but you are on the spectrum. When people talk about alphas under the common term, they're usually associating it with alpha male, and he's an asshole. And there are alpha females who are an asshole. That is not the term that we are using here.
Right.
A truly well-rounded, well-grounded, and self-loving alpha woman is not in competition anymore, because she's realized one critical thing. And I've said this in the dating world. So I'll be 45 in July. And there's women, there's always going to be a woman prettier. I have big boobs. There are bigger boobs out there. There's a woman.
You look 30.
I'm so excited about that. That's hypnosis and belief. That's a whole nother video. But there are women who can do the twirly thing in bed, and they like doing things with objects and stuff that I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. There is always somebody who is going to be able to best you on some element. If you're constantly comparing yourself, I promise you'll lose. Well, I'll tell you how I can win with absolute certainty. Look into your monitor right now. If you're looking for a woman who is spiritual, entrepreneurial, a coach, and is dead ass aligned with her self-worth and self-purpose, I'm the best combo. You get it? I'm a combo. When you align my pieces, I'm the very best, and I'm the only one. I have no competition. It's actually funny because Elle and I are very identical. And I told her we should go into a bar together. And
from another mother.
We would just melt. Men would run out screaming, their hair on fire. I don't know it would be crazy. Men dropping wedding rings and garbage bags. It would be it'd be bad. So, but what I'm telling you is that you have to understand that your particular combination is unique. And the person who is looking for you in business, or as a coach, or as a mate, or as a friend, or as whatever you're showing up in the world, if they're looking for that, they're looking just for you. I wouldn't work. Elle's amazing, and Elle wouldn't work. So when you really lean back and realize, it's like, I'm not trying to compete with a woman who's smarter than me. I'm Mensa. Okay, great. I'm super, super smart. There's still people smart. I'm a genius. There's still people smarter than me. So I want you guys to get really excited about the fact that what if there were people looking just for you? Because there's 7 billion people on the planet. There are people looking just for you. There are people who do not like my style of coaching, because I start with truth, and that truth is pretty relentless. We're gonna turn over rocks. We're not gonna be like, oh, let's sing Kumbaya and kind of burn some incense while we avoid the fact that you're cheating on your husband. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to be like, you know what? You're cheating on your husband. That's not going to work out well. We need to stop doing that. You see, I mean, that's the way it is. So I want you guys to get excited. Like what Ella is saying, it is bullshit if you're looking at other people to compare to for competition. That is ego-based stuff. Get excited about what you can do.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm just excited.
No, it's good because there's good lessons here. There's a lot of really successful women in business that are not true alphas, and you might think they are, but they're total assholes. And that's not. They have a false, that confidence thing. That's that shell. Where remember I told you at the beginning where I was like, oh my God, my life seemed like it was working really well. I didn't love myself. I didn't like myself. Things, they look like they were working. So I've been an alpha. At that point, I was not a true alpha. I was what I call an uncoached alpha. So I was not in a good shape. And, and I had to do a lot of work to myself. But you know what? I'm worth it. I'm worth the time that I've invested in myself. And now my life works. Yeah. I call it perfect square. Health, wealth, love, mission. Every alpha should have her 4 corners working. Most of you have 1 corner working, maybe 2. But honestly, you can have all 4. Yeah. What are some of the things you've learned along the way in coaching women in terms of people who are hesitant and then getting over the hump of standing up for oneself, speaking for themselves, going out and taking a risk, those scary unknown moments for people?
Oh, I got a good one for this. I did a great training on this about comfort. You'll notice that I curse. Comfort is a curse word in my universe. Try is also a curse word. Go Yoda. But comfort is a curse word. Because here's what I want you to know. Your ego loves the word comfort and comfortable because people who are comfortable don't do anything new. They don't take any risks. They don't go anywhere. They don't stretch. Here's what I want you to know. Poor people are always comfortable. They're comfortable. They're comfortable right where they are. They can say whatever the hell they want about they want to make some more money, but they won't get up at 5 a.m. and go stand on the corner and get jobs and hustle and get, lawn care jobs, or go try to go into somebody's school or pick up a second job or whatever it is they have to do. They want to stay comfortable. I want you to know that everything new you did that was valuable wasn't comfortable. Your first tampon was not comfortable. Right? I don't know. That was just me.
No, and sometimes people do it wrong on the first try. I've been with other girls trying to teach them how to do it at age like 13, and someone did it wrong, and they're like, "What's happening?"
It's like, that's not comfortable. Not comfortable. Yeah. Learning to drive a car, even if it's not a stick, that's not comfortable. Remember when you first learned to drive a car, where you would get really pissed off if somebody talked while you were driving? Do you remember that?
So awkward, focused on everything, couldn't even,
10 and 2, and you're like, turn on the radio. What the hell's the matter with you? I'm trying to drive. Now it's like you have the radio on, you're ordering a pizza, you're looking out the window, you're checking out the guy on the sidewalk. I mean, now you're a master of it, but anything new you've done was not comfortable. So when you're coming from this place where you don't want to speak up, you don't want to try the new thing, the first concept I want you to notice is that if it's uncomfortable, it's probably the direction you should go. Fear is the label that ego puts on things to keep you from opening doors that you actually should open.
Absolutely. You've got to go walk through some of those fears. I mean, it doesn't have to be fire walking, but you have to walk through those fears. I was just, talking with someone the other day who was trying a new form of creative writing, but they had already accomplished a lot of other creative writing projects, but they just kept, kind of pushing it away or creating resistance to it by being like, well, the issue I'm having, this is my frustration. And I said, you know what? You're just doing something unknown and you're just trying to dance around it and not dive into it.
and be uncomfortable. Just be uncomfortable. I recommend people constantly try something new just so you get habituated to the feeling of being a novice. Mm-hmm. So for instance, most of you have a mastery in something and it stops you from going anywhere new. Like I had a mastery in law. I was really good. I was a seriously fierce divorce attorney. People, the biggest compliment I would get is routinely, I would get referrals from people and I'd say, who referred me? And it wasn't my client. It was the person I crushed.
Nice. Yeah. They're like, get her because she killed me.
They're like, yeah, you want her. You want her. They call her the happy divorce lawyer. That is some bullshit. She just a hammer. So,
Yeah, she bluffed on that one.
She smiled while she was doing it. But you see, you guys, I want you to go do something different. So, if you're not a technical person, try a technical class or go to the store and buy a magazine on woodworking or Sports Illustrated or something that is completely out of your familiarity and your comfort zone, because that energy translates. When you start talking about speaking up, it translates.
That's a good way to start. Actually, I like that. That's so simple. I mean, how easy and cheap is it to just go buy a couple magazines, random stuff you would never even think about, care about even. Yeah, I like
beer crafting. Beer crafting. I'm service. They probably got 6 magazines on how to do micro brewing with lager and hops, and they probably argue the benefits of 2 drops of lavender to 3 drops of lavender. And you know what? Just diving into that, just having the willingness to dive in, the willingness to be uncomfortable, the willingness to show up and be a novice, the willingness to ask questions. So you see how all of that translates to you coming over here and being willing to go for the promotion or the stretch or the public speaking or to speak your piece in a relationship when you know you have to.
Right. Let's talk about your coaching, and let's talk about how can we work with you, and we'll get to that in a minute, but let's talk about maybe some other things that you can think of in terms of just alphas. What are some pitfalls to be aware of? Some things that you're like, ooh, check these spots, because we've already mentioned a few of them, right? Not being able to receive, overgiving, rescuing, all that kind of stuff. But what are some other ones, or maybe through some stories of people you've coached might be some good ones.
Okay, here we go. The Alpha Woman's Guide to Life.
Yeah.
Steps any bold businesswoman can take to find happiness, feel loved, and make more money with less struggle.
Excellent.
My big thing is more with less. I am anti-struggle because I was the queen of struggle. So alphas, what I want you to know is you have become a master of struggle. You expect it, and in fact, you need it. Like if you get in a situation and there's not drama and struggle, I promise you, sweetheart, you will look around and poke things until it comes up. Because guess what? When the struggle arrives, you feel comfortable because you're used to always fighting. You're used to no one ever just giving you something. Remember, this is the receiving piece coming again, because you can't receive. You're not good at somebody just handing you a promotion.
That's uncoached alpha energy you're talking about right here. Is that because I was in that in the past too? Yeah.
Yes. So I get so excited when I just say, so here's what I want you guys to know. So here's a really good tip for you. I want you to look through your life. I want you to take yourself, get like a notepad and a piece of paper, and I want you to write down the top 5 areas or things that you see struggle in your life. And once you let that little list, you're like, okay, I'm struggling with my mate. I'm struggling to get, my assistant to show up to work on time. I'm struggling with my weight. I'm struggling with putting aside for savings. I'm struggling with, getting my children to go to school on time, whatever it is. Then I want you to take this one thought to heart. Struggle is suspicious. It is not normal. If you believe that struggle was suspicious, you would completely react differently to this list of things. And I'm telling you, it's suspicious. So the one thought I'm going to give you guys is start looking around at where you're struggling with things and just flip your mindset and say, well, if that crazy black woman was right and struggle was suspicious, then how else could I look at this? How could this actually be easy? What if this could be easy? Is there a solution where this could be easier? And that's what I'm going to tell you guys to look for. Look for an easier solution, because I promise you, it's reticular activating system. You can't see it because you're not looking for it, you don't believe in it, and you're not expecting it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, you know what? On this crazy black woman that you just mentioned, I want to ask you, because you grew up in a white neighborhood.
I did.
And, it's interesting sometimes to hear women of color talk about their experience especially empowered alpha women of color. Speaking with, yeah, exactly. In my chat, I was speaking with Lisa Nichols about that. And, she was talking about walking into those boardrooms with all white men, or, being just a powerful black woman, what people thought expected of her, weird projections from people. Right. So I'm just curious about your opinion on, you're a powerful, also woman of color. So maybe you can share some of that experience about what that journey's been like. I mean, obviously you only know your life, but
I do. And so yeah, I grew up in an all white area. So it's like, oh my God, like I totally grew up in this like suburban area. And I can tell you on quite a number of occasions on blind dates, I had to start disclosing that I was black, because I promise you, I showed up on a blind date.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
To an Applebee's or something. And I walk in and I'm like looking around for my date. And there's this really good looking guy that I'm thinking, I think that's him. And he's kind of standing there and he looks like ashen. He's a white guy. He looks ashen. And I said, hi, I'm Tanya. And he looks at me and he said, I didn't expect you. And I said, you didn't expect me to be so tall? And he actually said, yes, I didn't expect you to be so tall.
Woo, you saved that on that one. Oh my God, that's rough.
I just opened a door for him and he was grateful. I threw him a life preserver and he's like, oh yes, give me that.
Right. Yeah. You're like, let me not punish this guy any further.
What's funny is that I didn't, because I grew up and there were no black people even around me. Like I had black family in the city and they were my city cousins, very different from me. It was hard for me to think of myself as black because I don't think that way. Like I just thought of myself as Tanya. So I would show up places. If people were being weird, I am the black person that first assumes the person's just an idiot or they're having a bad day.
Not that you're black, right? That's
not that I'm black. I'm like, oh, look at that. Imagine that. A person who works for $4 an hour is angry. How about that? Wow, how weird. So I have a lot of different experiences from that. So for instance, I know that there are black people that will walk in a room full of white people and they feel very self-conscious. I do not. It's just because that's what I grew up around. I was very used to that. So I don't, and here's the expectation.
What if you walked into a boardroom full of black people?
What's funny? Actually, see, that's what I was going to tell you. It's an expectations thing. It took me a while to actually have that transition be more natural for me. Because remember, you're familiar with what you were raised with.
That's right. It doesn't matter what's here, it crosses lines.
Yes, and I'll tell you, and maybe there's no black people saying it, so if you're a white person listening, be consoled by this. You know, I was trained in my family, and I think it's true. There's just always been more black on black racism. So as a black person, when I first went to college, I went to a huge University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and they had black people there, and I was so excited. I'm like, oh, cool, look at this. So you have to imagine me like running up, right? I look like Elle looks now. I'm in this tiny little person. I have boobs, and I'm in a spandex mini dress, and I'm like, hi, everybody, I'm Tanya. And they're like, who are you, and why are you trying to sound white? I'm like,
oh, damn.
I'm like, oh my God, who's trying to sound white? They're like, you. I'm like, what? No, like, this is just how I talk. So there was that whole process there. And we would talk about that from a point of empowerment. It took me a while to catch my footing and be in a place where I could rebuff black people that were judging me.
Right, getting judgment, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like
heavy judgment. Because I was like, here I am. I'm so excited to be here. I'm ready to be accepted. And I was getting the bird. And I was like, well, shit. And I would get very upset. And then I was defending white people because I was like, you know what's funny? They're not talking about me the way you are. Just saying out loud. I'm just over there because I was just Tanya. So, you know, everybody has a different experience. And now what I've found is that I'm very good at explaining one side to the other because I have a foot in both worlds. So I'm a very good natural bridge. So I spend a lot of time explaining black hair to white women. And by the way, here it is. Here's the secret. Black hair is dry clean only. White hair is wash and wear. That's it. I figured it took me years.
That is hysterical. But
that
is also is such a thing. Like, black women seem to know everything that there could ever be known about hair.
Yeah, it's dry clean only. So if you were out in your silk dress, which is dry clean only, and it started to rain, you would be pissed off. If you're out in your cotton t-shirt and it starts to rain, you're not worried about it. There you have it. So that's the
dry clean only. I like it. You know, I'm gonna have to investigate that a little bit.
I tell men all the time, if you want to pick up a black woman and it's raining, give her an umbrella. That is just the ultimate act of kindness. Just hand her an umbrella. Here, baby.
I mean, it's chivalrous anyway, but it's also necessary.
It's also quite necessary. So yeah, so I just, you know what I want women to know is that everybody has a different experience and everybody's in their head too much thinking that their experience is special and damaged and everything's so hard for you and everybody else has it somehow magically easier. And that's just not true. The people that you see at the top are people who have made decisions to go into places that are uncomfortable. So I had to go into my femininity, which was uncomfortable. I had to learn how to interact with black people and I wasn't raised around them. So I intrinsically felt off to them. I felt funny to them. And I had to get to a place where I was like, this is actually who I am. I'm not pretending to be somebody else. And I need you to love me and see me exactly as I am. And I'm totally cool with you coming from where you are. And I'm not going to have my head processing going, why don't you speak this way or act this way or dress this way? I don't need you to sound like me. You don't need me to sound like you. And that is a place of empowerment where I'm like, I can be the black person in a room that can sit at the black table, the white table, or stand in front and give a speech.
Yep. Yeah. Cross-cultural barriers.
It's fun. And it means I can date black and white. This is awesome. I just doubled my man pool.
Hey, and I'm from downtown Chicago. To me, it's like I feel probably less comfortable around white people.
Yeah, because she's from the city. I was a suburbanite. I was just like, oh my God, the city, lock your doors.
Yeah. No, we had everybody. So, I mean, it's a melting pot, you know. Let's talk about how you coach people, how people can get help by you. I mean, I know that you work with a lot of entrepreneurs and that's kind of your jam and your forte. Tell us about it. What are some of the ways people can connect and benefit and start to kick ass and rise up in life?
I have found alphas at all spots in life. And the trick is I'm an alpha too. I'm an alpha woman entrepreneur. So I still have that strong rescuing gene. And what I found over the years, and I want you to listen, if you're a coach, you're probably still doing this. You're rescuing people who can't afford to work with you. You do need to stop doing that. You just need to find resources you can send them to. So I'm at a point in my life where I'm building the resources. So I've launched 3 different schools, and they're my Alpha Life schools, and they're like my babies. I have triplets.
Super cool.
The Alpha Life Community College is free. Did everybody hear it? It's free. That is my solution to everybody telling me, I don't have the money, I can't do it, I have this, and my kid in the college, and my husband, and the dog, and the alligator in the kitchen. No, it's free. Okay, so that is going to teach you the foundational principles. These are for people who are walking on the road to life and they're trying to catch a ride. And then I have my Alpha Life University, $27 a month. $27 a month, and you're getting all of my best life coaching. It's going to be in there. So that's people, I'm telling you, I'm like, you need to invest. And spiritually, you know that honestly, you need to put something in order to guarantee you get something out. Usually when you give nothing, it's very hard to receive. There's that word again. So there's that. And then my ultimate baby is the Alpha Life Academy. And that is for my 6-figure women entrepreneurs. So if you have 6-figure income experience and you're shifting, you're starting, you're stuck, or you're struggling, you want to go to the Alpha Women Life Academy. And there we do coaching, we do mentorship, we do videos, we do products and skills. I mean, it's a university and it's private. So those are my babies.
I love it. And where can we go to receive that? Of course, we'll have all of the links to, connect with you on social media and your website, but just tell everyone the website of where we can go and start to find these.
Well, first, I want to make sure everybody understands that I'm giving you the Alpha Life Community College membership. So to get that, I want you to go to fearlessfocuscoaching.com/more with less. That's the keys to the kingdom. More with less. fearlessfocuscoaching.com/more with less. And you can also on there, you'll see information. So if you want to step up to the university or you want to apply to see if you can get accepted into the academy, you can do that. But I want you to know I'm putting gifts, I'm putting bundles, I'm putting coaching, I'm putting training. Honestly, people would say I'm putting too much in there, but honestly, Alpha's just like a lot of stuff. So I'm just going to give it to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then on the last note, what would you like to leave our audience with? If people are feeling unempowered right now in any area of their life, shitty relationship, a job they don't like, money coming in and out, rolling through the hands, whatever it may be, health, what are some thoughts you'd like to leave them with?
Yes. Oh, here's what I want you to do. And if you actually do it, it will change things for you. The first thing I want you to do is I do want you to keep a gratitude journal. I'm not bullshitting you. Keep the gratitude journal. People have told you this before. I have one. I've been keeping one for like 6 years. I'm successful. Look, see, connection. Okay. Because you get what you focus on. I focus on what is good in my life. I focus on what is happy, and it helps me. If you are not feeling empowered and you're looking for somebody externally to give you the power, you're still putting the power outside of you. The way to power is through responsibility. So if you're feeling disempowered, I want you to look around and take responsibility for something. Anything. Cleaning the toilet, driving the children, whatever it is, there's something in your life that you're resisting that you can just stop and say, you know what, fuck it, I'm responsible for that. I'm owning that, it's mine. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you take responsibility, responsibility leads to control, control leads to power.
That's amazing. And true control, not controlling behavior that comes from insecurity. We're talking about a level of mastery, I guess.
Yes,
right?
You're talking about the security. You can only be secure if it comes from you. I love you, but if it's coming from outside of you, it's subject to your good behavior.
Yeah, and it's going to crumble. This core doesn't get too chiseled down. It never gets fully crumbled if you don't let it. Thank you so much again, Tanya Stewart. Thank you so much for joining us. Love to have you, and so glad to be connected with you.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Do yourself a favor and look inside to get your power.
Well said. Have a great day.
Bye.